Types of immunity. There are two types of immunity, which are active immunity and passive immunity. Active immunity means that lymphocytes produce their own antibodies as a response to stimulation by the antigens. Passive immunity means that the body receives antibodies from the external source. Active immunity can be divided into two. Is natural active immunity that acquired after an individual recovers from an infection, and artificial active immunity acquired when an individual is given a vaccine injection. It is same for passive immunity, which has natural passive immunity that acquired through breastfeeding from the mother to the fetus during pregnancy, and artificial passive immunity acquired through an antiserum injection. Now let us examine active and passive immunity in greater detail. Active immunity. Antibodies are produced naturally by lymphocytes. Active immunity remains for a long period of time. Natural active immunity. When someone is infected by pathogens, lymphocytes will produce antibodies as a response to these antigens. When an individual recovers from an infection, that individual will gain a permanent immunity against the disease. When the individual gets infected by the same pathogen, the lymphocytes that store memories of the pathogen, that is, memory cells, will rapidly produce antibodies to react immediately against the antigens. Artificial active immunity. To protect oneself from being infected by highly infectious disease, an individual can be immunized against the disease. Immunization refers to the process that stimulates immunity against a specific disease through vaccine injection. Vaccine is a suspension of pathogens that are weakened, dead, or non-virulent. When a vaccine is injected into the body, the vaccine will stimulate lymphocytes to produce antibodies to fight the pathogens. The first injection will usually result in a low of antibody production, which is insufficient to protect an individual from the disease. A booster dose must be administered to increase the antibody production to a level of immunity that can protect the individual from the disease. If the individual infected by the actual pathogens, the lymphocytes will produce enough antibodies and immediately destroy these pathogens. Examples of vaccines are the Salk vaccine of poliomyelitis, BCG vaccine, Bacilli calmette-guerin for tuberculosis TB, and HPV vaccine for cervical cancer.
Oh, hello there. Active immunity has its twin, just like how you wish you had a twin, so you can escape classes. Just kidding, LMAO. That is passive immunity. Long story short, you got antibodies outside of your body. This immunity is temporary as it will worn off once used. Furthermore, this immunity has its two subdivision which identical to the previous immunity. First one, natural passive immunity. For example, mother's antibodies were distributed to fetus or baby during breastfeeding. The antibodies remains as long as it got a supply of mother's antibodies. Since it's originally human antibodies, so it's considered as natural. Secondly, artificial passive immunity. It's called artificial because it was created by animals. Just like mother's milk, once you don't consume it, you will run out of the antibodies. The process is by injection of serum or antiserum. For example, are anti-tetanus, anti-rabies and convalescent serum. Next, we are going to look what I call as the artificial twin. They are identical in two ways, which are, firstly, it protects the body from infectious diseases. Secondly, it involves interaction between antibodies and antigens. But the most problematic about these two is they have lot of differences that wouldn't make them twin, isn't it? Huh? While one acquired through vaccine injection, another one acquired it through antiserum injection. Artificial active doesn't give immediate protection, which contradict to artificial passive. Due to this, artificial active gives long period of time immunity, which the opposite to artificial passive, ain't due.
Health issues related to human immunity. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome (AIDS). Human immunodeficiency virus (HIV) causes AIDS. HIV attacks and destroys lymphocytes in the body's immune system. This reduces the number of lymphocytes in the body and increases the risk of infection. HIV paralyzes the body's immune system, hence AIDS patients are easily infected with various diseases such as pneumonia and can eventually lead to death. HIV infection and how to prevent AIDS. HIV enters the human body through body fluids such as blood, vaginal fluid, semen, or through the placenta of an infected mother. For ways of infection are sharing a needle or syringe contaminated with the blood of an infected person. Next, unprotected sex with an infected person. Besides, through the blood of an infected person. Lastly, from an infected mother to an infant through birth or lactation. Among the ways to prevent AIDS infection are the use of condoms to reduce the likelihood of infection. Next, do not share needles or syringe with others. Besides, avoid having sex with many different individuals. Lastly, avoid homosexual activity. Systemic lupus erythematosus (SLE). SLE is also known as lupus. SLE is a type of autoimmune disease in which the body's immune system attacks healthy tissues in other parts of the body. Allergy. Allergy is a body's immune response to certain substances hypersensitively, for example food, pollen grains, dust and others. Allergic symptoms include sneezing, stuffy nose, itchy skin, rash, swollen eyes and lips. That's all for chapter 11. Thank you.